Broadcast, are we ready to go? Great, thanks. Hello, everybody. It's August 23rd, and we have a special meeting today. The topic is governance. Welcome. Unfortunately, the mayor couldn't be here, so I will be chairing this meeting, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. So the way that it's going to go is that I'll kick us off, and then if there's any discussion, any lights that I see, we will take any comments from the commission, and then there will be public comment, and then we can go back to member comment. So I will go ahead and start us off. So this was not an easy decision for me to make.
We should adopt an agenda.
Oh, we do need to adopt the agenda.
Move that we adopt the regular agenda.
Second. Great. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. We have an agenda adopted. Thank you. So this was not an easy decision for me to make. After a lot of thought, prayer, and conversations with trusted friends, family, and mentors, I've decided to resign from my position as Commissioner for the City of Gainesville. The collective good has always been the reason why I do this job. And I believe the reason I'm here is to advocate for those most underserved by local government. However, for more than a year, it has become increasingly difficult to do the job I was twice elected to do. I can do any challenging job as long as I see a light at the end of the tunnel, as long as I see a path. I no longer see the path that will allow me to continue serving the people of Gainesville in the way I know you deserve. It has never been my style to sugarcoat, curry favor, or mince my words. This is not a game of 3D chess for me. Governing is not an academic exercise for me. I show up for this job every day, knowing in my bones how the decisions we make are directly impacting people's lives. So I always do my best to operate with integrity. To me, integrity is choosing courage over comfort. It is choosing to practice your values rather than simply professing them. Repeatedly, the following examples have called the integrity of the Commission into question. I continue to remain concerned about the retention of the city manager. I continue to remain concerned about the opaque relationship with Colliers, the Caper Department, and the sudden focus on valuable publicly owned land. I continue to remain concerned about unkept promises we made to focus on East Side development with CRA funds. I continue to remain concerned about the strained relationships with other important partners in this work, such as the county, school board, UF, and our own employees. I continue to remain concerned about the once-in-a-decade incredible opportunity we have with the comprehensive plan update that will be overshadowed by the push for upzoning, which will erroneously be used as a talking point for achieving racial equity. Considering many recent events, I remain concerned about the commitment to equity and inclusion in the city at the highest levels, including this board and members of our leadership team. There is a clear disconnect and misunderstanding about the priorities that will move us toward racial and gender equity. The fact is that this next fiscal year of work will be predicated on the strategic plan. I fundamentally do not agree with the process of how we arrived at the priorities outlined in the strategic plan or the execution of the priorities over the last year. The outsized focus on development is problematic. Which brings me back to my first and central concern, the retention of the city manager. Power has been abused and misused. We have quickly gone from working in a low-trust environment to a no-trust environment. The cost of this type of dysfunction is just too high. I'm resigning because people often don't remember the individual contributions a commissioner makes to the body. They remember the decisions of the entire body. I no longer wish to be associated with the majority voice of this body. I no longer wish to be associated with the decisions of the city manager. I refuse to be complicit in decisions just by my mere presence, even if I dissent. During the past 18 months, it has become increasingly delicate how life is and how precious our time on this earth is. I want to work with people and in environments where actions speak louder than words. I want to spend my valuable time working in spaces where my contributions and my perspective are valued, where my core values are in alignment with the people I work with, and where I can successfully spend my time working towards desperately needed systemic change. To all of our residents and the good troublemakers out there, I've acquired such deep respect and love for so many of you. I consider myself fortunate to have worked with you and alongside you. I admire the way so many of you show up and you care. Because of advocacy and activism in this city, I remain hopeful. Thank you. As I said before, integrity is choosing courage over comfort. Integrity is choosing to practice your values rather than simply professing them. I can very confidently say that I have led with integrity, and now I need to resign with integrity. For the smoothest transition, and for the sake of budget season, my last meeting will be when we vote on the budget on September 23rd. My last day in City Hall will be a week later. Because time is of the essence, and hopefully without objection, I will work with the city clerk and the city attorney to add a special election as an agenda item for discussion at our next general policy meeting on August 26th. Thank you to all of you that have trusted me with our precious city. It has been an absolute honor to serve and lead. Commissioner Ward.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I'm sorry to hear this. I will say that the 26th is perhaps, unfortunately, too soon because the city attorney is not in town. I would support adding that to the agenda for the next full meeting of the commission, which is the following Thursday, or do we, is the calendar off on that? That would be the following Thursday, so that's second. I'm not looking at the calendar. But the 26th, we don't have all our charter officers in town. And also it's 3 days away, so putting a good plan together prior to that, I don't know that that's possible. But thank you.
City Manager Feldman.
I didn't have my light on.
Who was 9? So you don't wish to speak? Okay.
No.
Commissioner Duncan Walker?
Commissioner Johnson, I am certainly sorry to hear your comments today. It's taken me a moment to press my light because honestly, I feel kind of like the wind has been knocked out of me a little bit. I certainly was not expecting this today. However, I understand your need to do what you're doing. As much as I hate to hear it. Not only do I understand, but I underscore your concerns. The very first day that I came to this commission, I sat in a very long meeting where someone was leaving the city, a charter officer. And unfortunately, they were leaving under circumstances not unlike the ones that you've outlined here today. I said that day, and I will say again today, that that is a problem. I am deeply concerned about the culture that exists amongst us. I'm concerned that what happens up here has and is trickling down and affecting in a negative way the charters, the staff, and the people who live in this great city. And they are watching us with great expectation. I know as they watch this today, their jaws are probably dropped just like mine. It is our responsibility to work on the things that have gone wrong. Unfortunately, there is an environment that exists amongst our team, our staff, our employees, that is uncomfortable, that is untenable, that causes some people to feel like they have to leave. Tanisha Marshall, others in between, and now a commissioner. That's a problem. This is not the way this is supposed to go. I look at what some of those issues are. And I get frustrated as well. I get frustrated when I think about CAPER and how GCRA's responsibilities have essentially been taken away from them. That's a problem. I look at the number of calls that I've recently been getting with regards to how people feel or certain entities feel as though they have been overlooked or unfairly treated with regards to the grocery store project. And regardless as to how people feel about that, one thing that I think has to be acknowledged is that when you are a city manager, part of your function is to maintain decent relationships. Agreement doesn't have to be what happens, but respect always has to be there. An ability to do what this commission tells you as well. I'm recalling as I'm talking now, one of the issues as well that I've heard Commissioner Johnson echo, and frankly that I've experienced myself, was just not taking direction. And that's a problem. I don't have a desire to continue to watch the staff of this city go through what they have said to me is uncomfortable and frankly a toxic workplace environment. I'm concerned that our citizens have a greater expectation of us, and frankly, that they deserve for us to stand up and be the elected officials that they put in office. And right now, I am concerned that we are not governing in the way that they expect or need us to govern so that this city will run in the way that it should run. There are so many things that are swirling around in my mind, so many things that I'd like to say. I don't want to get caught in the weeds, though. I do want to say this. Prior to me getting here, the previous commission had a major situation in which an outside organization came in and made a recommendation. That commission ignored that recommendation. And I have watched over that time things not get better, but maintain and gradually get worse. That's the problem. In the current environment, where people are stressed, people are hurting, being impacted by COVID, etc., I don't want to be a part of the problem anymore. I want to help find solutions to the problem. I want our staff to be happy to work for the city of Gainesville. I want our charters to be able to work together cohesively and have the divisiveness removed from the way that they interact. I'm sorry that we're here, Commissioner Johnson. I'm certainly sorry to hear that we'll be losing you, because it is a great loss. And in that vein, I move that we terminate the contract of the city manager.
Motion made by Commissioner Desmond Walker. Is there a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. There are no more lights. We can go to public comment. Is there anybody in the chambers that would like to comment? Do we have anybody with us today on the public comment line?
Yes, ma'am. This is Larry Schooler.
Hi, Larry. Thanks for being with us. Is there anybody that would like to comment?
We do have 2 callers at this time, ma'am.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Joe Beatty is first. Joe?
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead, Joe.
Hello? Okay, I need to I'm trying to get away from the other. Don't start my time. I'm trying to get away from the background
No problem.
feedback. Okay, this is Joe Beatty. I want to say I was just on my way down there. I had hoped you would talk a little longer because I was just getting prepared to come down and speak. I am shocked. I would urge Commissioner Johnson to reconsider her resignation and to meet with those people that make good trouble, because she is she can make a difference now more than ever, because you have at least one other commissioner who is striving to do the right thing. And if that commissioner doesn't have anybody there to second the emotions, to speak out honestly and openly, and not play with the game the way they've been kind of taught and muzzled, I think that new commissioners are kind of indoctrinated, told the way the game is played and be nice and get along. And Commissioner Johnson, we need you to speak out forthrightly and honestly, as you have just done. And by resigning, any chance of things changing, the public knowing what's going on, they're kind of going out the window. It's going to be hard to get seconds on motions and open discussion. You're in a position that you can help force what has been changed over the last years, and the work of the public being taken down behind closed doors. And I know people I've been talking to were saying they hoped you were the next mayor. You can make such an impact so I hope you would reconsider this resignation and not put it in now, and at least give the citizens, call a meeting and give citizens an opportunity to talk to you and to help you, because I know the cards are stacked against any commissioner who tries to do the right thing. And it's about time this came out in the open. I applaud you for your statement today. I applaud you for the stands you've been taking lately. Don't leave Commissioner Desmond Duncan Walker, high and dry without even a possibility of a second on most of the things. You two have been speaking for us, and
Mayor Pro
without
Tem,
two
that's 3
voices
minutes.
up there, we don't stand. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, just to update you, we now have, I believe, 4 speakers on the line waiting, and Don Fields should be next. Don?
I'm online. Am I online?
Yes, go ahead, Don.
Hello? I'm speaking. I can't hear myself from the TV, but anyway, I'm shocked as well, and I, like the previous speaker, Ms. Beatty, encourage you to reconsider for the process reasons. We need to have more open discussions rather than between not only the city commissioners, but between the city commissioners and the public. We encounter not dialogue, but just monitoring, and we require responses and logic to the governance that's going on, not silence. And we need to have the 2 dissenters now remain online as commissioners until the next election, when we can switch people out if at all possible. And that's my major concern. I listen over and over to the process that goes on in the city commission, and it seems really ineffective overall in terms of getting feedback from the public that you are supposed to represent. You'll cherry pick those representations that you want and proceed to govern as if that is consensus, rather than the fact that you have a plurality of commissioners that are going ahead and doing the leadership that you're doing. And that's pretty much all I can say. I mean, I would like to see better governance. The agenda today did not prepare me for anything like this, and that is part of the problem. I read the agenda and it was just puff. I couldn't tell that this was going to happen. Not the agenda did not read a city commissioner is planning on resigning. The city should consider what to do about that. And what you can do about it is make more broad consensus governance as opposed to just ramrodding through whatever is going on in terms of development and growth. Thank you.
The next speaker on the line is Armando Grundy Gomez. Armando.
Thank you. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I'm also, like everybody else, shocked, but if you made up your mind, you've made up your mind, and I understand why. What I do want to start off this conversation is with this. Back in November 2019, there was only, out of everybody that's up there right now on the dais, only 1 commissioner did not vote for the current city administrator being the city manager. That was Commissioner Ariola. And I find it really rich now, and in that same time, Commissioner Ariola did not vote for the current city manager for many, many reasons. He read the backup. Well, you don't need to read a backup to know what's been going on since the precipice of that time has transpired. And to everybody sitting up on that dais that said they supported Ms. Marshall laid out the case. And I know that same commissioner that didn't vote for the city administrator said that he supported Tanisha Marshall. Tell me, how is that working now when a motion was made to terminate the contract for a city manager that has had over 47 complaints of EEO, who has victimized and brutalized women, demeaned them, demoralized them? The one that doesn't want to follow directions, or he cherry picks. The same city manager that plays games. A city manager is not charged to play games. A city manager should be apolitical. And it isn't the culture that's the problem. The reason the culture is the problem is because of some of the 7 of you up there on that day, some of you. And he is the way he is because you are who you are. And anytime you have commissioners that are weaponizing the city manager or calling people stupid or threatening fisticuffs to fight citizens or, sticking their middle finger up, or even how you all talk to each other. You had a city commissioner, Gail, said you were mansplaining. One who seems to have problems commonly with African Americans. The problem starts with you all. And I'm surprised, and I find it rich that same commissioner can't find it to do a second because you all want to be political. Really rich. Interesting. Make that make sense, Commissioner Ariola. Make that make sense, unless you're being political, because you are right now. So you are just spitting and giving the middle finger to Tanisha Marshall and all the women who you all claim to be defending and supporting, because it's a bunch of dog mess. And to the commissioners that want to threaten to fight people or talk about having bodily functions go awry or calling people stupid, you're part of the problem. You're a sinister, nasty person. You all ought to be ashamed of yourself, and it's shameful that Commissioner Johnson has to resign. And now that Commissioner Duncan Walker, the only people that we're going to have advocating for people of color is Commissioner Duncan Walker. We are screwed. But Commissioner Harvey Ward will probably be running for mayor, and he'll be political too. So good luck, folks. Thank you very much. And anybody that wants to threaten to fight me, feel free to invite me to fight. And if you want to call me stupid,
Mayor Pro Tem,
I'll
that's
have
3
energy
minutes.
for that all day too.
Thank you.
Especially you.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, we've got 3 speakers left in the queue at the moment. Robert Mounts is next. Robert.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, it's really with deep sadness that I learned today of your decision, but I fully respect it. I don't think the tone of the previous caller was appropriate, but I certainly agree with those who have said that your resignation will be a tragic loss for our city. Not too long ago, you told me that in politics, there's no permanent friends and no permanent enemies. But I know where your heart is, and I've seen how you've reacted to the Seminary Lane debacle. I know how many people supported Desmond Walker in that effort, which failed, but then elected her to the commission. And your success last month in getting a 4-3 vote to require that all intermediate and major development plans be submitted to the Development Review Board for a public hearing was very encouraging. The city attorney has not yet come back with that ordinance. And without your vote, I suspect it's going to be 3-3 and will fail. I limit that because that policy change gives people a voice that they don't have. And I wish you would reconsider. I understand why you're leaving. The person on your left is the one who should resign. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, Tana Silva is next. Tana.
Yes, thank you. Don, just everyone else, and I'm torn. I respect your thoughtful decision, Gail, and I'm very sorry for the city. Now it's going to be 5-1 vote among people who really aren't putting in the homework and the time that she's put in. 5.5 years ago, there was a drastic change to governance in the city, and that was with the term of Anthony Lyons just beginning, and a switch to get rid of abruptly the standing committees and go to just commissioner subcommittees. And the public has been pushed increasingly out of decision making under Mayor Poe and under this regime. And I appreciate all the work that you've done and being able to bring to light some of the problems of the previous city manager, Mr. Lyons, under his management with no experience And now I think we're in a much worse situation with, as you say, Caper, the city manager, Colliers, whose representative has said there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that has to take place in order for these deals to happen. We have a wheeling dealing city manager, and all of this is taking place out of public view. Back early in your first term, Gail, you spoke up about what you were seeing, about being delayed 13 days in getting information back from staff. I wrote a letter to the editor about it because only one of your fellow commissioners, the mayor, was out of town. He was in Russia when you brought this up. And of the remaining commissioners, only one, that was Gigi Simmons, stood by you. And the rest just said, oh, this is business as usual. You should be mentored by Lauren Poe to learn he knows how to work the system. Well, you've tried every way you know how. And I've watched you, go out of town, out of your way, do the research, do the homework to try to come to the best decisions, to always include the public. And we see what's happening now, just as you're saying. It's just, Gainesville's for sale. We see it in every decision coming before the plan board now, before the city commission now. And I really appreciate your courage throughout. I'm very, very worried about the 5-1 votes that are going to be coming down now. As
Mayor Pro Tem, that's 3 minutes.
Truly
Thank you.
responsible member of the commission is the one left. Thank you.
We have Nathan Scott next in line, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. Nathan.
Yes, thank you, Larry. Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. Nathan Scott. I just want to echo the other callers and say for the record that I'm too am very disappointed and equally saddened by the resignation of Commissioner Gail Johnson. Despite our political differences, Commissioner Johnson, you have my respect. And the reason why you have my respect is because you constantly advocate for the public good from your heart, from your perspective, and just try to do the right thing. It's not about politics with you. We've seen that time and time again, that you and Commissioner Desmond Duncan Walker on fiscal issues, on issues of importance to the city of Gainesville for public health, safety, and welfare, like the open container ordinance. You guys are on the losing vote of a 5-2 vote, where the majority just blatantly disregards what's in the public interest. And I think that, Commissioner Johnson, you've been correct in your comments today, and in many regards of what you said in identifying the problem. The city manager, along with the core majority of the city commission, has cultivated a culture of fear, distrust, dysfunction, toxicity, and retaliation in city government. It's evident that they don't listen to the public. They only listen to themselves, and that's not good governance. In my opinion, again, and I'm equally concerned about the state of our city under this totalitarian regime that's tantamount to a cabal, because it's not good governance, as you mentioned, Commissioner Johnson. And if anyone up there today should be resigning, certainly it shouldn't be you. It should be Commissioner Sacco, who allegedly shot the middle finger to our dedicated collective bargaining unit members. It was witnessed by many people, and that's just completely disrespectful. It shows the disdain that this city commission, not you and not Commissioner Desmond Duncan Walker, but it shows the overall disdain that the majority of the city commission has for the citizens of Gainesville and for GRU customers, and it's not acceptable. So again, I'm deeply disappointed and saddened by your resignation, but I think there'll be some good that comes with it. But again, I appreciate all your efforts in terms of your advocacy and what you've tried to do to better our city. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, 2 additional speakers on the line. Debbie Martinez is next. Debbie.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. I just want to echo many of the comments that were made by the previous commissioners. And this is a sad day for our city. and I appreciate Commissioner Johnson for trying her best to do what the residents want, for being a representative for the people, not for special interests. But all we can do now is hope that in that special meeting to replace you, that we'll have someone that will be willing to be an independent thinker and listen to the residents, do their homework, do their due diligence, and support other commissioners on the commission willing to do the same thing. And I just wanted to, there's really nothing I can really say to comfort Commissioner Desmond Duncan Walker. But I remember many days when Commissioner Ed Jennings Sr. felt all alone, but somehow he had the strength in those meetings to say what needed to be said and garner support from others and actually fix disasters that were created by previous commissioners. So that's what we have to work towards, and it's always, good governance, just doesn't, it's not handed to you on a silver platter. It's a united effort by the public and our elected officials, and we just have to continue striving for good governance. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, Danielle Chanzas is next, and I think we have one caller being screened. Danielle?
Yes, I'm just calling, again, to echo a lot of the sentiments that have already been said, but to also just give my support for Commissioner Johnson and Desmond Duncan Walker. I really am at a loss for words, but I'm disappointed in the city commission. I'm disappointed in the city in general. We see everything that's been happening in the past year, and I feel like a lot of the words that I've seen from these commissioners ring hollow today. Because when you all say Black Lives Matter, after a Black man is murdered and it's videotaped, it doesn't much matter when you have individuals within the city government who are saying there's a hostile work environment and nobody's going to do anything about that. Kenesha Marshall resigned. We just had Commissioner Johnson say she wanted to resign. Commissioner Duncan Walker just said that it's a toxic, hostile environment in the city and you all are doing nothing. So your words ring hollow when you say Black Lives Matter and protect Black women when you're not doing anything to make sure that we are not having a hostile environment at the city. And I would like to see more action on part of the city. I think Lee Feldman is a horrible city manager. And in fact, when I tried to throw an event back in October, he deliberately lied to me and told me that Chief Tony Jones said not to do the event. And I had to call Chief Tony Jones myself, and he said, no, he absolutely supported me. And so there's a pattern of behavior. He moves maliciously and secretively, and he does need to be fired because he has been a terror for our city. He's been terrible for our city, and he needs to go. As somebody who has lived in Gainesville for the past 10 years and loves the city of Gainesville, he needs to get out of our city and stop destroying our city, and we need to do more to support the people on our commission who are trying to make a difference and do right by our city. And so, again, I just want to say that I'm sad to hear of Commissioner Johnson's announcement today, but that we need to do better. We need to step up when it comes to supporting those in our community, especially Black women in our community.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, Christina Fields is our last speaker at the moment. Christina?
Yes.
Go ahead, you have the floor.
Hello?
Yes, you have the floor.
Okay. I'm all right. Thank you, Christina Fields. I'm sad beyond words that Commissioner Johnson feels the need to resign from this very important post on the commission. You have been the voice of the people, and we urgently need your voice. We urgently need your input, your sound, solid work. I, along with the numerous people that have mentioned before me, wish that you would reconsider. We had no idea nobody had any idea that this was coming. I wish that you had a forum where you felt that you could have voiced this beforehand, so that something could have been worked out. Your voice is so needed. I have no idea what you have planned or how you feel like you can support the city, but we need your voice so much, and I'm heartsick. Thank you very much, and thank you for your efforts. You have no idea what an impact you have on so many. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, I know that we are screening a caller at the moment, and then another one is called in. I don't know whether we do have this caller ready. Okay. George Braun. George, you're on the line.
Hello, my name is George Brown. I live in District 1, and I support our commissioner from District 1. I'm very disappointed that she's losing her backup, Gail Johnson. I would ask Commissioner Johnson to reconsider, if nothing more than to support District 1. District 1 is very unrepresented. The commission as a whole talks a lot about equity, but here we have today where the people that represent the minority voice in Gainesville are being shoved to the back of the bus by the majority of the commission. And I see it happen quite often. So I'm very disappointed that we're losing Commissioner Johnson. I don't know what the process will be if she continues her resignation and her position becomes open. But I don't see District 1 having as strong a voice, and I'm very disappointed as a resident of District 1. And I might add, I'm very happy with the positions that the commissioner from District 1 has been taking, possibly with the exception of the grocery store, which I'm dubious of. But again, I support District 1 commissioner, and I'm disappointed that she didn't even get a second to her proposal today. And I'm very worried about who would fill Commissioner Johnson's position if she goes ahead with the resignation. So possibly Commissioner Johnson could postpone the resignation until the designee has been announced and we know where this is going. Thank you very much.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, we have another speaker on the line and then one being screened. This is July Thomas. July.
Hi, yeah. So I guess I just want to echo kind of the other things that have been said. Commissioner Johnson, I understand your decision, and I just wanted to thank you for your service to the community. You really have given a lot of us hope, whether or not you realize it. I am not at all surprised to hear about the games that are played. I mean, it's not really that much of a secret that the city manager plays favorites and that he only needs to placate a simple majority of the commission in order to keep his job. And after that recommendation came down last year and y'all voted to retain him, it made him essentially impervious to any sort of authority at that point. And it sounds like the situation has only gotten worse. Now, I understand that there are some of you sitting up there who just want to ram through every developmental project. I know Adrian A. Santos is going to be a civilian in a year and going to go back to being a realtor, and he's going to need to sling as much real estate as possible. And I you know, what's even to be said about Reno? But Harvey, you want to run for mayor. And if you run for mayor, if you want to serve as mayor, you have to serve as mayor for the entire city, which means that you need to stand up when there are people whose voices are not being heard on the commission. And you have an opportunity right now to show that you are here for the entire community. And so I'm urging you to second the motion by Commissioner Duncan Walker. Lee Feldman should have been removed a year ago. He never should have been hired, but we need to remove him from the city manager position. And that position needs to be filled with someone from the community. We do not need another outsider whose only ability is to ram through corporate development projects. We need someone from the community in the role that is most powerful, that makes the most money in the city government. Thank you. I yield my time.
And we have Alfredo Morales waiting to speak. Alfredo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for letting me comment. I got to say, I'm a little surprised about what's happening. This is a huge and devastating loss to the City Commission. Commissioner Gail Johnson has been such a positive force in the City Commission, but I'm absolutely not shocked at her decision, given the direction the City Commission has gone, specifically in being bullied and cowed by Lee Feldman into basically doing what he wants. I've been personally, I guess not personally, but I've seen the direct results of its actions in terms of a lot of the stuff that's going on in South Main and a lot of stuff happening in the old fire station, including 8 police officers showing up to the old fire station, harassing and simply threatening the people that were there when they were asking questions about their blue cards. So I am honestly outraged the fact that it's gotten to this point, the fact that the City Commission has not stepped up and both protecting Black women within your own commission and supporting their voices and the voices of the community, and instead allowing the city manager and by proxy developers from out of town to really bully the commission into doing what they choose to do. I have nothing but shame on this commission right now. It is heartbreaking news, and it makes this fight for a much fairer, gainful, a lot harder because the city has not taken up what the community actually wants, instead shut down and became incredibly toxic when the community spoke for itself. I sincerely hope you all have a lot to think about, because I know members of the community, organizers, activists, everyone is absolutely appalled by what's happening, and I can't stress enough how much of a loss Commissioner Johnson is on the city and the trust that the city is trying to build with the community. Thank you. I yield the rest of my time.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, one additional caller is in the queue, Reverend Ron Rawls. Reverend.
Hello, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm calling in response to Commissioner Johnson's resignation. I've been before you all before. You've seen me before, and you've heard me talk about the problem that we have with this city manager. You all have ignored the problem. We had our equity director of equity and inclusion. That person resigned. We have a commissioner resign, and the mayor and a couple of you commissioners, you sit by and watching it happen. You feel like you have power now because you have some type of mafia thing that's going on. And I'm not sure what this city manager has over you, but I can guarantee you that each one of you that are sitting by watching, I will personally commit galvanizing the community and giving you what you deserve. You're ruining this community. Not sure what the deal is with this city manager. You will not do the right thing. You lie with ceremonial activities. You have no heart for equity. You have no heart for inclusion, and you will reap what you sow. I won't even say have a great day, but I will see you later.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, at this time, there are no additional callers.
Larry, we'll move on to Commissioner Sacco.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, and I do sincerely feel sorry that your experience with this seat, with this government and commission has come to this. It can't be easy. That said, I do want to clarify some things that were said by our public, and I by no means want it to be taken as fact, because it is not. the accusations that our manager has brutalized women is baseless. To our knowledge, there is no criminal case against Mr. Feldman. He has not been charged with brutalizing any person, let alone the women who work under him. And quite frankly, I am a little disgusted at the continued tinge of anti-Semitism that comes from these calls to get rid of him. Using words like cabal and saying that he's a liar and that he only cares about profits. All of those reek of anti-Semitism, and it is not the first Jewish manager that we've tried to run out with those same accusations. If there are incidents of fraud, I ask that you send them to the auditor. That's what she's there for. And if there is a finding of fraud, we will address that. But until then, I do not want accusations taken as fact and to be put out there without base or merit. Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
To member comment, is there anybody that'd like to speak? Oh, okay. So, you know, there are only 30 days until the 30 days until my last meeting. I'm sure that we're going to have to make some decisions. And to me, it's important that we have that information in front of us sooner rather than later. Even if we, you know, make a decision down the road, I'd like the information to get to us as soon as possible. So I'm going to ask the city clerk and the city attorney, the acting city attorney at this moment, if literally after this meeting, I'm able to have a conversation with you and understand what the backup needs to be to put this on the agenda for the 30th, even though, I mean, public be very aware that, you know, this information won't be uploaded likely until potentially the day before. So I'm just setting the expectation around that. But time is clearly of the essence. So would you be able to, and also the city clerk, wherever you are, city clerk, be able to work on that?
Yes, we'll work with you, and there's another attorney in the office who specializes in election law,
Great.
so we'll bring him in as well.
Okay.
So, yes, we'll work this afternoon with you.
Okay, so if, Commissioner Ward, are you comfortable with that?
What date are, you mentioned a couple of different dates.
So the date that I'd like to discuss this is going to be on Thursday, and my last commission meeting will be the budget, which will be September 23rd.
I just don't feel comfortable in 2.5 days, 3 days, without the mayor being here today and without the city attorney in town. I think next Thursday is an appropriate time. I think with people missing who ought to be a part of the conversation.
Oh, because you said the mayor's not going to be here on Thursday?
Well, he's not here today.
Uh-huh.
So, and the city attorney, my understanding is she's out of town all week. She won't be here on Thursday. I would like the city attorney to be here, even if I know Mr. Nee is our expert for election law. I would just feel more comfortable with the city attorney in the room when we have the conversation. And I don't mind whoever puts plans together prior to that, but I don't want to do, this is not something that we have a template for. So I would like the city attorney herself to be in the room as we do that. And I would also like the mayor to be here when we decide when we're going to do it. But certainly putting it on the agenda for the 2nd makes all the sense in the world to me. 3 days from now, just a little too early. We could talk about it then.
Yeah.
But as far as making decisions, I want to make sure we have all the information and have the city attorney in the room. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hayes Santos.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I'm sorry to hear that you've gotten to a place of resignation. That's a personal decision that everyone has to make, or not everyone has to make, but that's a deep thing. As for when we discuss it, I think having it on the agenda on Thursday, there's just an understanding of what the laws are, because there is stuff in the charter. This is what's in the charter, what's I think we can just get the information and then place it on the following meeting if we want to have further discussion. But I think just having there's a few lines in the charter that outline how we're supposed to do this, and then we've done it before as a commission too in the past, so there's precedent as well. So I would be okay with having it on that meeting. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. So there are no other lights. Commissioner Ward, are you comfortable with just beginning to understand what the rules and what the information, and then we begin to have the conversation and put on the agenda on the 2nd?
Sure, yeah, that's fine. We probably should see if somebody from the Supervisor of Elections office could join us too. When we have.
On the 2nd.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
And we'll put that on the agenda for the 29th. And then we'll have the 26th, thank you. And then we'll have the full discussion at the commission meeting on September 2nd. Okay, great. If there are no, is adjourned.